Testing. Testing. There we go. Everything seems to be in order. These are the captain's logs, day 0 of the TSS Caelum flagship mission. Or, I suppose, a bit more like day -2. Either way, this is Captain. This is a test run of the system I intend upon using for my reports in the future. I don't really have anything to report on yet. I haven't even met my crew, let alone walked the ship. The only things I really, genuinely know about either as of now is that they are, for the next 2 years at the very least, mine to care for. And, of course, the information in the files I've been given. I suppose I can log that down at the very least. The files, I mean. Who knows? It might even come in handy later. Why don't I start off with our resident communications officer, Cassiopeia St. James. Their personality notes go as follows. Slightly unfocused at times, efficient, quick, humorous, curious. It should be noted that curious is underlined quite a few times. It seems that she has a bit of history with our engineer, Mavis Sampson, as well. They both attended the same training programs, excepting the one specialised for their given career paths, and bunked together for the majority of their time in university as well. Oh, and there's an audio box here. Each member of the crew, myself included, was required to recite their position, name, and ship posting into a physical machine, as well as an online record upon entrance into the program. There've reportedly been some incidents on board other vessels, so it's a bit of a precaution. I'll play it here.
This is Cobb's Officer Cassiopeia St. James from the TSS Caelum.
There she is. And I might as well get these out of the way while I'm here. So next up is Nye DeSilva, our scientist.
This is scientist Nye DeSilva of the TSS Caelum.
Finally, our engineer.
This is engineer Mavis Sampson of the TSS Caelum.
And speaking of Sampson, I'll take a look through her file next. Personality appears to be curious, less emphasized than Officer St. James, but still relevant, focused, friendly, helpful, and punk? I'm not certain if I should be worried about that or not. There's no further elaboration, though, so I suppose I'll figure it out when I meet her. And with that out of the way, the only one left is Dr. DeSilva. His traits are focused, hardworking, slightly anxious, and innovative. The last of which is in red ink, which I can only hope is because of a shortage on black pens. If nothing else, he seems to be the most anticipatable of the three. Then again, that isn't exactly saying a lot, considering. Let's just hope they become a bit less elusive on our first day. Next up is my information on the ship, which, admittedly, isn't very much, so I'll just recite the obvious for this one. The Caelum is a standard Nautilus ship fit for time travel through the fourth dimension, with a crew of up to 4 people and a capacity for 9 in the instance of an emergency. It can travel backwards and forwards in time at the will of the company, who gives me, the captain, missions, times, and initiatives. I have coordinate override codes as well, which I am to only use in the case of a hostile emergency, or possible fray, in space-time. 10 minutes until my next training exercise, then. At least it got rid of that god-awful ticking. I'm using it to train for the real ambiance of the ship, I can only hope it isn't that loud on board, though. Either way, I must get going. So this was Captain...
It's time to go.
I'm coming! This was the captain of the TSS Caelum, logging off.
The Cogwork Logs is a science fiction podcast, primarily written and directed by Kaya Brown. Today, you heard the voices of Keely Dodson-Gladis as the captain, Laura Julich as Mavis Sampson, Kat Quigley as Nye DeSilva, and Kaya Brown as Cassiopeia St. James. This episode is edited by Keely Dodson-Gladis. A special thanks to Michael Gerway for the theme song, and a thanks to you for listening.